All right, so get ready, because we're going deep today.
Indeed.
Yeah, really deep into some seriously strange stuff that we found online.
Oh.
We're calling this a deep dive, and this time we're looking at this online post.
Hmm.
It's really wild,
Mm-hmm.
and it claims to be a guide to becoming a Chicago Grim Reaper.
A what?
Chicago Grim Reaper.
Yeah, that's not something you see every day, is it?
Definitely not your typical self-help advice, that's for sure.
No kidding. So, where did you even find this?
It was on
Like, what corner of the internet are we talking?
It was on one of those like kind of fringe forums
Right.
where people talk about,
Conspiracy theories and
yeah, all sorts of weird stuff.
cryptids and things like that.
Exactly. And this post was just kind of buried in there.
Wow.
But what makes it even more fascinating
Okay.
is the way it blends all this street slang with ideas about like supernatural transformations.
Interesting.
It even seems to have some references to like Chicago gang culture.
Oh, wow. So it's like a whole mix of stuff.
It really is.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it reads like someone took like an urban legend
Mm-hmm.
and then mixed it with a very specific kind of fandom, I guess you could call it.
Okay.
So like to give you an example,
Yeah.
this post claims that the key to becoming a Grim Reaper
Okay.
is finding one of the late rapper King Von's dreadlocks.
Wait a minute. King Von's dreadlocks?
Yeah, apparently there are only like 14 left or something.
Hold on. I need some context here.
Yeah.
Who is this King Von?
Right, so to understand that claim, we need a little context about him.
Okay.
He was a Chicago rapper known for his pretty violent lyrics
Mm-hmm.
and his ties to a street gang.
Okay.
And his death in 2020 was a huge deal.
I see.
And even now, his legacy is both admired and controversial.
So kind of a legendary figure in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that sets the stage a little bit.
Right, so back to the post.
Okay.
It goes on to say that finding one of these dreadlocks
Right.
will trigger this instant transformation into something it calls a mob deity.
Mob deity.
Yeah, mob deity.
What do you even make of that phrase?
I don't know.
It's like a contradiction in terms almost, isn't it?
It really is.
Mob and deity, those two things don't usually go together.
Right.
It's a really interesting blend of street culture and this like supernatural belief.
Yeah.
It's almost like the post is trying to create this new kind of folk hero. This figure who embodies both the power of the streets
Right.
and some kind of divine authority.
Yeah, like a street saint or something.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
this kind of thing isn't entirely new.
Yeah.
We've seen this throughout history.
Yeah. Right.
Where figures who are maybe on the fringes of society, they become elevated to this almost mythical status.
It's like they represent something.
Exactly. They embody certain values or ideals.
Right.
And it's really fascinating how this happens, especially in online spaces.
Oh, yeah.
Because the internet, it can kind of amplify those narratives and blur the lines between reality and fantasy.
Totally. Especially when we're talking about figures who already have that larger-than-life persona.
Yeah, like King Von.
Exactly.
He already had this reputation.
Right.
And then his death, it just adds to that mystique.
Right.
And so it's not surprising that someone would try to build on that.
Yeah, to create this whole new mythology around it.
Exactly. And that's what I think we're seeing with this post.
Right. And the post doesn't hold back on the intensity.
Oh.
It's full of words like instant
Mm-hmm.
and phrases like the King Von piece is real with like a million L's.
Wow. They really want you to believe it, don't they?
It definitely feels like the writer is trying to convince you of something.
Yeah, like they're selling something.
Right.
But what are they selling?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's the good question.
That's the writer hoping to achieve here.
Right. Are they just expressing a personal belief?
Yeah.
Or is there something more here?
Like, are they trying to recruit people?
Exactly. Or maybe romanticize a dangerous lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's impossible to say for sure. But the language definitely suggests the writer wants to influence readers in some way.
Yeah, like there's a call to action almost.
Right. It's not just a neutral description. It's like a manifesto.
Yeah.
A guidebook to this bizarre world.
Okay, so let's dive a bit deeper into the language of the post.
Okay.
You mentioned those words like instant.
Right.
And all the extra letters.
Yeah, what do you think the writer's trying to achieve with that kind of tone?
It's like they're trying to hype it up,
I
make
think
it sound exciting.
I think it's about creating a sense of urgency and excitement.
Yeah.
The exaggerated spelling,
Yeah.
the emphasis on immediacy.
Right.
It all feeds into this idea that this transformation,
Yeah.
It's something
It's
powerful
desirable.
and desirable,
So I
exactly.
have to get it now.
Right before it's too late.
Before all the dreadlocks are gone.
Exactly. There's only 14 left, remember?
Right.
So you got to act fast.
You mentioned earlier that this post might be romanticizing a dangerous lifestyle. But could it be something else?
Well,
Could it be satire?
possibly.
Or maybe even a form of social commentary?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's certainly possible the writer is using exaggeration and absurdity
Yeah.
to make a point about the way we mythologize figures in our culture,
Right.
especially online.
It's like they're holding up a mirror to us in a way.
Exactly, saying, look at how easily we buy into these narratives.
Yeah.
How quickly we elevate people to this godlike status.
And how that can be dangerous.
Exactly.
So what do you think, listener?
Yeah, what's your take on this?
What's your take on this post?
Do you see it as a genuine attempt to create a new belief system?
Or a recruitment tool?
A form of social commentary?
Or something else entirely?
It's really up for interpretation.
Yeah. And how do you think this kind of post might affect someone who is already immersed in this online culture?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Because we know that these online spaces,
Yeah.
they can be echo chambers where people's beliefs are reinforced.
And amplified.
Exactly. And so it's possible that someone who's already predisposed
Yeah.
to believing in these kinds of things,
Right.
they might take this post seriously.
Yeah, and act on it.
And act on it. And that's the scary part, because
Yeah.
we don't know what the consequences of that could be.
It's a question worth pondering.
It really is.
Because this post is just one example
Right.
of how real-world figures can become mythologized.
Especially in online spaces.
Yeah, their stories get reshaped.
Amplified.
And sometimes distorted.
And it raises a bigger question.
Yeah.
How do we navigate a world
Right.
where information, misinformation,
Yeah.
and personal beliefs are constantly colliding?
It's like we're all swimming in this sea of information.
Exactly.
And it's hard to know what to trust.
And who to trust.
Right.
And what's real and what's not.
It's something to think about, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
And remember, there's a whole lot more to explore out there in the depths of the internet.
Oh yeah, just be careful out there.
Exactly.
You never know what you might find.
And until next time, happy diving.
Happy diving.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.